When you're doing email forensics work, you almost always start with some kind of case hypothesis. It might be vague at first, perhaps just a gut feeling, a name, a pattern that seems off, but there's usually something that points you in a direction. The case hypothesis tool in Mesher is designed to capture that suspicion early and put it to work. So once you enter your hypothesis, which you can do by first drilling into a case and then clicking on this link in the sidebar here, every email that you upload will get analyzed through this specific lens. So here's how it works. When an email is submitted for analysis, it passes through a chain of analysis steps, where our system will examine it from multiple angles. Each pass produces conclusions, or more precisely, inferences made with a measurable degree of confidence that essentially build on one another. So that's why before you upload anything, you'll always want to come here and add your case hypothesis first. You can include anything here. You can include names, email addresses, and any behavior or technical patterns that you're suspicious of. The more specific you can be here, the better. But don't let vagueness stop you. Even just a rough hunch is worth entering here. Give our system the same hunch that you have, and it will often take that hunch much further than you could do on your own. Now, once your hypothesis is in place, you're ready to upload an email. And then from there, our built-in forensics engine kicks off the chain of analysis automatically. Now, the final step of that chain is the hypothesis validation step, and this is where things get really interesting. You'll see a status message that reads something like, "We are currently cross-referencing all prior analysis, including behavioral patterns, technical header data, and geolocation signals against your case hypothesis to evaluate alignment, establish a hypothesis relevance score, and summarize how this email supports or contradicts your investigative theory." In other words, everything the system has learned about this email up until this point gets measured against what you told it to look for. Now, once that's complete, your results will appear here in the Case Analysis tab. The results are organized into 3 columns, each representing a distinct layer of analysis. On the left, we have the verdict layer. In the middle, the evidence layer. And on the right, the investigation layer. So let's start with the verdict layer. Now, the first thing that you'll notice here is the evidence strength label. Now, this will give you an immediate read on the email. It will come back as either weak, moderate, or strong, telling you how much weight the evidence carried within this email. Now, just below that is the hypothesis alignment indicator, which will tell you which direction this email is pulling. It will evaluate to one of 3 values: supports, neutral, or contradicts. So at a glance, you'll know whether this email is working for your theory, against it, or sitting somewhere in the middle. Next is the hypothesis relevance score. So think of this as a more precise version of the alignment. The higher the score, the stronger the connection between the specific email and your hypothesis. If you want to understand what's driving this number, just hover over the text beneath the score bar and you'll see a breakdown of the signals used to calculate it. Essentially, how many signals were detected and what types of signals were found. And finally, we have the plain English summary, exactly what it sounds like, just no jargon, a very clear, readable takeaway from the analysis. Now, if the summary gets cut off, just hover over it to read the full version here. Okay, so now let's move over to the evidence layer. Now, this is where the analysis gets quite granular. You'll see any supporting signals and contradicting signals the system detected, along with an evidence excerpt, the actual content pulled from the email that informed these findings. Below that, you'll find any anomaly flags and the key deciding factor, the single most influential signal in the overall assessment. Taken together, all of this feeds into the plain English verdict gap summary at the bottom here. Now, this is one of the most useful pieces of the analysis. It tells you not just what was found, but what's missing. What information, if present, would have strengthened or disproven your hypothesis. Now, that might be missing authentication results, a lack of known sender context, or the absence of link analysis. It's essentially the system telling you where to look next. Which brings me to the final column, the investigation layer. This is your action list. Based on everything the system has analyzed, it'll surface a set of suggested next steps to move your investigation forward. These will be concrete, prioritized, and ready to act on steps. Now, before we wrap up, a few things to keep in mind as you work through a case. So remember that one inconclusive email doesn't mean a dead end. Think of every email as a single clue. Your job is to separate signal from noise. An email with weak signals today might be context that makes tomorrow's email click into place. And remember, within Mesher, you can always add notes to any individual email by clicking on the Notes button. And you can also mark the emails that matter most as key evidence using this flag button right here. Now, when you're ready to generate your case report, you'll have the option to build it exclusively from the emails flagged as key or supporting evidence, filtering out anything that was inconclusive and keeping your report tight and defensible. So that's the case hypothesis tool in Mesher. So that's all I have for you today. I hope to see you over in the next one.